An ultra has always been a goal of mine. I just really wanted to know if that's something that I could achieve. Oh, just past the last checkpoint. 2.4 Ks to go. Done 45 Ks. Oh man, I'm so stuffed. Yo, we're at 30 Ks. And guess what? I got to do another 30. 20 Ks down pretty much. Feeling good. Almost done all of the uphill. I reckon the premise of this video should be about how Luke rang me up in November and was like, yo, come and do this ultra marathon with me. And then when I worked out, there was only like 58 days or something crazy to do the training in. I'm Josh Chapman, a builder here in New Zealand, 36 years old. Because I'm 37 2 days ago. Yeah. I'm 36 years old and I just ran the Kepler Challenge 60K mountain run with only 8 weeks training. That's 61 days from when I officially decided I was in and I'm gonna make it happen. So, what's this crazy thing we're gonna do, Luke?
We're gonna run the Kepler Challenge, 60K ultra marathon.
Which sounds pretty cool, but how many days away is it?
It's 58 days until then.
58 days. Pretty much Luke has convinced me to just sign up for a 60K run with no real training.
58 days is enough time.
Like 6 months, I'll be able to do that. We kind of need to track back to like, why'd you do the Kepler and why am I doing the Kepler with you?
I did my first half marathon with you and that sort of changed my life to go from nothing to running a half marathon, and we all thought that was going to be a one-off thing, and then since then it's created the start of this big fitness journey for me. I managed to get an entry to Kepler just by pure luck, but I also, to sort of hedge my bets, they had a sponsorship position where you could enter and tell your story. Just last week I heard back and said out of the 40 applicants they picked my stories with the whole journey from basically coming from nothing and doing the half marathon with Josh to then doing the Ironman, then getting the team involved. And I went back to them and said, I've already got a booking, and they said, we'll give you your money back for it. And then I said, well, would you mind if I invited Josh, who helped inspire me to do my first ever run, and then inspire him to do a 60K ultra marathon? So they agreed that was a really cool idea, and it took me 3 days to convince Josh to do it. And I
thought it was real cool, but I was real nervous. So hopefully in 58 days you will see us across the finish line, tired but stoked. Let's talk about the training. First disclaimer, my running base or weekly fitness was already at the level where I could run for about an hour, 5-minute Ks. That would be a normal Saturday morning run. So it's not like I was a total noob, but I'm definitely not out there smashing records, running races all the time. An ultra has always been a goal of mine. I just really wanted to know if that's something that I could achieve. So I printed off a 16-week training plan from the Kepler website, looked at the first 5 weeks and worked out that my base fitness was already at there. Next thing I did, straight away, got into the hills. On the 19th of November, I did a 20K run over a hill here in the Belmont Regional Park. It was pretty much like up, down, back up, back down. I only have to do that 2 more times on race day, and that's the challenge. Once I worked out that I had that fitness in me to hit the hills, the next step was to build that base up. And I did that 2 ways. And I focused on time on my feet rather than pace or distance. I just got out and continued to stretch the amount of time that I was on my feet. And the second thing that I did is that I'd go to the gym and I'd do an hour on the bike, and I would hold my heart rate between 130 and 140. And that's way harder than it seems. And I would be like drenched with sweat. I really noticed the aerobic base stuff making a difference to my stamina in the hills. Bearing in mind, I'm a total noob. I've never done like targeting training before, and I just was following a bit of a plan. You know, after that first 20K run, I was dead. I was like keen as to just go home and blob out. Each run was leaving me like tired, depleted. Man, how am I going to do that 3 times over? Just past the last checkpoint, absolutely nothing left in the tank at all. There's definitely days where I woke up and the last thing I wanted to do was run. I kept thinking forward to the goal, the 60 Ks, and like, how would I feel on the day, and how will doing this little bit of preparation make me feel that much better on the day? before the big day, I did 2 big runs. I did a 35k 8-hour kind of trek in the Tauruas, and I did a 45k run in the hills, the same amount of elevation as the Kepler, and that was 6.5 hours. They were on gnarly terrain, and they gave me confidence that I had the ability to be on my feet for about 8 hours.
This looks like a good spot for a beer, eh?
The other thing is, in one of those training runs, I really hit the wall with my nutrition and my hydration. That's what training's all about, is kind of like working out where your body fails and then adjusting your plan to suit. That showed me the importance of food and water, and even what you're doing the days in the lead up to the big runs. You know, on one of those long runs, I literally had a couple of beers the night before. I woke up, chucked my bag on my back, filled my drink bottle, put a sandwich in, and I went for a run. And at 6.5 hours, I was done, nothing left. I wanted to lay down, and like, I wanted someone to come and pick me up. And I still had to go for another hour and a half. And that was a really important lesson to learn, and helped me so much mentally on race day when I was so much more prepared. What blows my mind is, in the first couple of minutes, we kind of found a group of runners that we stuck with for the majority of the race. And it's real interesting how you kind of like at that self-seated start, you do end up working out a group. First 5k was reasonably flat, winding through the forest, and then we go up, and then we hit Luxmore Hut. And then from Luxmore Hut, we keep going over. All of the up was reasonably easy, reasonably enjoyable, beautiful country, amazing scenery. K's down pretty much, feeling good, almost done all of the uphill, 40 to go. The down, that's probably where we did the most damage on our legs. We kind of were trying to slow ourselves down. Our momentum wasn't taking us, and we were lots of quad dominant, like winding down. There's something like 83 switchbacks, so you go down, 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 down. You're going from the top of the mountain to the bottom of the valley floor, like woof, and it does your legs in big time. Yo, we're at 30 Ks, and guess what? I got to do another 30. At least the big gnarly hill behind us is out of the way. We were just up in there. Cool, so 30 Ks that way, and then a burger and a beer. Let's go. And then it's like a meandering 30 Ks out. It looks flat on the map. It is not flat. There is lots of ups, lots of downs, lots of undulation, and when you've just gone over that mountain, 30 Ks is a long way. I mean, 30 Ks is a long way anyway, but like you just think like, oh cool, I've got the hardest part out of the way. But actually really that's where all of the training, all of the effort, everything kicks in. And about 45 Ks, Luke and I hit the wall. We were done, we didn't want to do it anymore. Done 45 Ks. Oh man, I'm so stuffed. Still got 15 to go. Oh, what the heck am I thinking? That's like another 2 hours of running. And we had to start chopping it down into little 500 meter blocks. We'd run 400 meters or so, and then we'd walk for 100 meters, and we'd do that again and again and again. And I remember at one stage I said to Luke, we only have to do that 23 more times. How crazy is it? You've just run 48 Ks-ish, and you're telling yourself, okay, just 23 more 500 meter blocks. I can do it. We could walk from here to the end and we will still make the cutoff time. Like just kind of choosing in that moment of darkness, choosing all these positive thoughts and telling yourself all of these things. And I think the biggest thing is Luke and I didn't set like a time goal. To Luke and I, a success was crossing the finish line together. Oh, just past the last checkpoint. 2.4 Ks to go. In the last few Ks, there's so many supporters, so many people cheering you on, and it's just like so overwhelming. I crossed the finish line and honestly I was in a bit of a daze. Oh my gosh. Done.
So this particularly good looking man here is my favourite middle niece's husband.
So crossing the finish line was actually quite emotional. Like I welled up a couple of times, I had to hold back the tears. We jumped in the lake, we had a swim, the legs were done, like taking my shoes off, taking my shorts off, trying to put them back on was like there was no balance, no stability, no strength left in my legs at all. But also kind of like really satisfied. Up until that point, it was this big thing, this big what if, I'm not sure if I could do it or not. And you cross the finish line and you're like, well, that was hard. That was really hard, but it actually was, you know, now I've done it. Now I know I can do 60 Ks. And it's kind of like you've unlocked a new level in your mind. I learned that like slowly but surely we made it to the finish line, and it's amazing how when you chop up a big goal into little blocks, not just the race, but even the preparation. I chopped the preparation up into this run plus this run plus this bike plus this run. When you chop something huge into little pieces, it's amazing how those little pieces add up. Especially when you feel like you've got nothing left to give, you find a way to just take another step. Can I make it to that tree? Can I make it to that ridge line? You've got this huge, big challenge in front of you and you've got to be like, can I just make it through today? Can I just make it one more step? What does one more step look like to the mammoth goal that you're facing? The second thing that I learned from doing the challenge is that I enjoyed the preparation and the lead up and the research and learning about nutrition and hydration and the yarns with Luke about our race plan. I enjoyed all of that just as much as the race day, and I think for me I look at the Kepler challenge as not just the race on the day but the 8-week program and going from an hour running base to being an ultra marathon runner. How crazy is that to say that I ran an ultra marathon?